Right now, I'm going to teach you a meditation for anxiety, body wisdom, and intelligence access exercise. That's only 2 minutes, so you can finally stop stress and anxiety and take control of your life. This meditation for anxiety technique is the third of 7 in this week's series. It's super simple, and you will know how well it works for you straight away. After the 2-minute meditation for anxiety, I'll also offer key relationship advice, discuss anxiety causes and methods for relief, and guide you in integrating everything you learned today in a special finale exercise. I'm Speed Psychologist and best-selling author Aleks George, and we're now in session. First, give yourself a current mood rating, 1 being very low to 10 being very high mood, and a second 1 being very low to 10 being very high stress/anxiety rating. Just go with whatever mood number or stress anxiety number that first comes to mind. Now, I need you to promise me that I will have your full attention and best effort for just 2 minutes, okay? If you are sure that you can do that right now, then get ready. Also, please note, make sure you are in a safe place, and if you feel unusually uncomfortable during any exercise, stop immediately and go have a drink of water. So, are you ready? Really? To feel better? Just 2 minutes from now. You sure? Great. Let's begin. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now follow my simple instructions. Bring all your attention to your body. All of it. Fully focus on scanning your body. Notice its rhythms, pulses, beats, pains, and pleasures. You don't have to do anything. Simply notice, focus on your body, and let go of everything else. Like leaves floating down a river, or clouds evaporating as they pass by. Allow your thoughts and feelings to rise and recede, to come and go in their own time. Choose to lose any tension or apprehension, any anxiety, worry, or stress, and exclusively experience the success of simply being present, safe, in this moment and the next. Select an area of minor discomfort, an ache or irritation, and let it be there. Simply observe, watch it, feel it, and notice how it changes over time. Now choose a pleasant sensation to observe elsewhere in your body. Watch, listen, feel, and finally bring the sensations of both areas together. Let the information in each sensation build a narration for elevation. Listen closely, and the lessons will come. Feel the narration of each sensation. Let the meaning in each message rise and recede into stillness over time. That's right. That's right. That's it. We're done. Simple, right? Easy, hey? Feeling better? I'm sure. Really, check in now and review if your mood and stress anxiety scores have improved. If you gave me your full attention and best effort, then I bet they have. How much did they improve? 10%, 20, 30, 50 or more? And in just 2 minutes?
If your scores didn't improve, that's okay. You may just need a few more repetitions, or may find it easier to benefit from a different 2-minute brain exercise. I will release 7 related meditations over the week, and they're always just a couple of minutes. Each exercise builds on the last, and they become easier to do and more effective as you get used to them.
Here's a quick former client quote of the day. Thank you for all your courses. I am going to do them all. I have really been enjoying them and am seeing huge improvement in myself. Thank you, Mark.
Before we move on, I want you to really consider how your life could be better by consistently using these kinds of exercises. What would it be like to be in control and unaffected rather than being controlled by the news and social media, work bullies, and negative people? What would it feel like to have greater peace of mind and focus so you can perform at your best and feel good about who you are and what you do? In a moment, I'm going to answer 1 or 2 modern psychology questions from the community. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can, of course, like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list.
Questions like, neurochemically, is happiness that we experience from materialism the same as happiness we experience from socializing and sharing experiences with others? Also, how do I worry less? And also, how do I sleep better? All of which I will answer in a future session.
The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list.
Okay, riddle me this, Bat Psych. What is your favorite planet? What a ridiculous question. Earth. Okay, the question that we should look at is, what do you think it takes to build and maintain a strong relationship? That's a good question. So I think it's interesting because you need to have opposites and similarities, and they need to be combined in the right way. So you want to have a polarity and opposites of kind of interests. You want to have different interests from your partner, not completely, but enough to make you interesting to the other person, right? But what you need to have is a similarity of values. So if both people in the relationship value, let's say, freedom, and so they're always out and traveling and going about, then that's going to work. They have similar values, even if they have different interests within those values. On the other hand, if they have different values, one's top priority is freedom, the other one's top priority is security, staying at home, not going out much, that sort of thing, you're going to have this great discrepancy, and over time, that's going to pull each other apart. So you want to have a polarity of interests, different things that you fascinating to you that the other person doesn't know about, and that makes it interesting with each other, but values need to be similar. If the values are too different, it's not going to work in the long term. Now, the other thing I want to say is that you don't hear much these days is this idea of honor. Okay, we don't hear much of this. Do you have a code to live by? A relationship requires an honorable code. And what that means is you want to have acceptance that it will get harder over time, especially if you have kids. It'll get even harder after that. So you're no longer going to be each other's main priority, but you still have to prioritize time for each other. You have to make that time sacred. So if you want to be in a committed relationship, a strong relationship, you have to be 100% committed, both of you. You have to love fully. It can't be transactional. It can't be conditional, right? If you love me, I love you, or when you do this, I'll do this. No, you can't half jump off a cliff. Okay, you either leap or you freeze. Okay, and being pushed off and managing to survive doesn't count. Okay, you've got to do it with your own sense of will. I talked about passion in a previous episode, the last one, and so that's kind of the idea, right? You have to know what you want and go for it and own it. Own the decision. Now, there are certain rules and standards of behavior that you should be considering in a relationship. Number one is never threaten the relationship. Now, that doesn't mean you can't talk about the relationship seriously. Like, you sit down, you're calm, you say, I'm not sure it's working, what can we do, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But in moments of anger, you should never threaten the relationship. You should never threaten to harm yourself or the other person, any of those kind of things. Because all it does is undermine the base that you've built together. So you can talk about really difficult things in the right way, but in the heat of the moment, you should always aim to avoid any gross statements of grossly emotional statements of threatening the relationship, threatening the other person, threatening yourself, anything like that. You've got to have a code, an honor of which you stick by. So you've got to do your best to avoid saying nasty things, especially when you're angry. The best thing you do when you're angry is time out. Don't send angry messages to each other, right? At least wait 24 hours before you send an angry message to your partner. Write it out if you want to. Write out the worst, most disgusting, horrible thing you could say, but then don't send it, right? That's fine. You can process it without sending it. If you send it, then it's locked in. It's there, and it's going to be very hard to come back. Final thing, not final thing, but one thing that's important is the 5-to-1 rule in terms of relationships. And what that basically means is you want to have at least 5 interactions that are positive to every negative interaction. That's very, very important. So what does that mean? It means do your best to always express yourself in a positive way with your partner. Smile, touch, kiss, pats on the back, praise, with kind words. These are all crucial things. And overall, if the relationship has at least 5-to-1 positive to negative, usually that'll go well. And if it doesn't, it will likely not go well. It'll likely fall apart. And part of that 5-to-1 rule is you want to celebrate each other's successes. Okay. And celebrating each other's success is actually more important than reducing conflict. I mean, both are important, but actually knowing that someone has got your back and is happy for you is even more important than not fighting. Obviously, not fighting is important too, but people fight, and as long as they have an ability to work through that in a reasonably good way, it's really the celebrating of successes that matters. And you want to be humble. When you are in a relationship, you want to seek repair whenever possible. You want to respect, you want to be proud of your partner. This is really crucial. If you're not proud of them, then what are you doing with them? You want to be smart about your temptations as well. So don't be friends with your exes, okay? I mean, be friendly if you happen to occasionally come across your ex, but leave it there. I mean, come on, just be smart about this, okay? I mean, why play with fire? And don't talk about or compare your exes with other people. Don't talk about, oh, you're like this, like that. Well, how does that help anyone? Okay, so don't do that. Same with social media. Don't follow your exes on social media. Don't do any of that sort of stuff. Obviously, there's a lot about porn these days, and porn is generally a pretty powerful way to sort of start feeling disconnected to real people in your life. So I'd kind of avoid or minimize that greatly. And finally, I'd say that these principles also work in any relationship. So whether it's intimate or friends or family or kids or whatever, same principles apply. So keep that in mind and good luck.
Want to ask me your own question? Just go over to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. At the moment, I'm personally answering people's questions pretty quickly, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on this channel. I'm happy to answer questions on mental health, such as stress, anxiety, mood, painful events, happiness, work-life performance, relationships, intimate, family, friends, kids, and of course the state of the world and why we do what we do. Before we continue, I want to explain what 2-Minute Brain is all about, because it's both as simple and not as simple as it seems. The first and most obvious goal is to offer the fastest and most practical methods to reduce mental health struggles and reach peak performance, so you can meet the demands of this often overwhelming and ultra-competitive modern world. The sad truth is, you do have to learn how to consistently be at your best, or you will be left behind. That's what these speed brain rewiring strategies are all about. These are the essential skills, but that's only the part of the iceberg that's above the surface. The second, much deeper goal is about members of this community reaching their highest forms of self-expression. Here, we are no longer talking about peak performance, but peak freedom. Good living is not just about productively functioning well. It's about wrestling with complex moral issues, paradoxical laws of nature, human contradiction, and seeking profound and immeasurable truths. This is where we dive deeply into the murky depths of existence and seek to free our self-expression. And in true 2-Minute Brain style, I'll also explore these topics just a couple minutes at a time via an impassioned monologue. So stick around if you want to spread your arms wide, crank up Celine Dion to volume 11, and safely explore rather than crash into the iceberg that is human consciousness and potential.
But first, another riddle for Batpsych. What's your favorite power from the early 90s cartoon Captain Planet? What a ridiculous question. Earth. Okay, the question is, what causes me to feel anxious? Well, stress comes from a current fear of the unknown, and anxiety comes from a chronic fear of unknowns. So it's stress that becomes chronic. Now, fear of the unknown usually boils back down to either feeling that you're not good enough, that you might fail, or that you're in some way unlovable, that you're going to be rejected or abandoned, or becoming ill and being unable to cope with it. So those are the main things. Failure, fear of failure, being unloved, or also not being able to cope with some sort of illness. Now, feeling unlovable is like a failure, and is usually related to some form of trauma or traumas that you need to reflect on, make sense of, and take lessons from to avoid such situations in the future. Health anxiety, in most cases, can be overcome by learning to listen to and trust your body and its ability to heal itself. Now, in more severe cases, it may be required that you have to practice acceptance of the possibility that your health will decline or maybe even lead to death. Now, the key with all of this is to seek to listen to and understand your anxiety. It wants to send you a message. So for most people these days, high anxiety comes from a lack of purpose, and by neglecting key elemental needs within yourself, such as healthy practices, creative challenges, harmonious relationships, meaningful work, when you neglect all these things, all of these elements are required to increase fulfillment. And by increasing fulfillment, then you will reduce anxiety.
We're nearing the end of today's session. Soon, I will summarize it all and get you focused on using what you have found most helpful in one final, fun and fast meditative exercise. But before the finale, it's time for today's 2-minute monologue, which usually consists of a metaphorical poetic performance where I often intentionally don't give clear advice or answers. That will hopefully stimulate you to also explore and find your own deeper truths within and greater self-expressive courage.
It's our 5th Modern Life Tuesday. Today's brief poetic monologue is titled Don't But Do, and is a poem outlining the contradicting expectations of modern life and what to do about it. Don't but do. Don't run, just walk. Don't talk too much. Don't sing, don't shout, or let it all out. Don't freak or geek or be meek, but be receptive. Don't steal or spit. There don't sit. Don't reel or scare, but always be there. Don't feel or heal or witness the surreal, but be creative. Shut it down. Just stop, don't pop, don't groove or swing. Stay in the ring, don't peek, and never ever be weak, but be inventive. Stay true, never blue, stick like glue. Commit to the cause, don't pause to think, or you'll sink like a stone without a home and nowhere to roam. But be intelligent. Don't sneer, don't jeer. Forget what you fear, be placid and smile. Always avoid guile. Allow the status quo to dictate all style. But be expressive. Don't doubt. Never shout. Be strong and never wrong. Stop smoking, no poking, and quit with your joking. But be free. Don't listen or you'll burn. Don't look and miss the turn. Go left instead of right into the lonely night until you're out of sight. And don't look back.
If you're having fun, make sure you like and subscribe and follow this channel, and also go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. Now, let's bring all of it meaningfully together in an integrative exercise that will conclude today's session. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now listen and follow along closely. Feel the narration of a body sensation. Whenever you need to, you can always feel the narration of a body sensation. Let the meaning in each message rise and recede into stillness over time. Now consider what you learned today about methods for building and maintaining a strong relationship. Things like striving to be honorable, smart about your temptations and vulnerabilities, being non-transactional and fully committed, respectful, praising, and proud of your partner, or something else. Also, now consider what you learned today about knowing what causes and how to overcome anxiety. Things like embracing the unknown, listening to your body, trusting your body's ability to heal, adding greater health, harmony, creativity, and meaning-building practices to your life. Or something else. Of all these things, what most struck a chord and feels right? Envision how you will use this now and in the future, and notice how you will have changed looking back on this moment and the next, all the way until you are where you wish to be. Finally, remember, you are allowed to be bold, to make mistakes, to create your own style, and in your own small or large way, walk your own path. Allow all the lessons now to come together, to ripple through you, and now changed back out into the world. That's right. That's right. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can, of course, like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list.
Questions like, neurochemically, is happiness that we experience from materialism the same as happiness we experience from socializing and sharing experiences with others? Also, how do I worry less? And also, how do I sleep better? All of which I will answer in a future session.
The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list.
And I'll see you, all of you, whether you believe it yet or not, in our next session.